Okay, great. Good day to all of you. Hello, Adam. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having time for us, for our participants. I'm going to very briefly inform about today's session. We're going to have a short presentation about our topic today is from research to publication. And before going through to the subject, I'm just going to explain you, dear participants, you can put your questions on the chat part of our Zoom, and of course it's recorded, and we're going to share this webinar further on our social media. Going directly to the subject, Adam, very briefly, I'm going to introduce you, and of course you can add some information about yourself so that all our participants will know you better. So you are research associate from Dalhousie University, and you are the author of Beyond Our Feelings book. I think it speaks, it explains all about yourself, but could you please shortly introduce yourself, and then we are going to launch directly our session.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. Thank you, Güney. So I'm originally from Azerbaijan, Baku. I have graduated. My bachelor I've done from State Economic University. Then I moved to United States, and I've done my master's in IT and medical informatics. So then I moved to France. And and I've done my PhD, defended my PhD in 2022. And my subject of the dissertation was on collaborative learning for collaborative working in healthcare, where I critically explore how educational planning and design can foster effective collaborative practices within healthcare settings. Now I work for Dalhousie University as a research associate.
That's great. So that explains that gives the background for you to share your knowledge concerning the publications, concerning the research. And of course, at the end of the session, if we have time, I would like you to hear a little bit more about your book. But let's speak about today's session, and then we will come back to that subject later on. So the floor is yours.
Sure. Again, thank you so much. Massive thanks to you and folks who made this Zoom webinar possible. As upcoming scholars, students, and recent doctoral graduates, our journey are as diverse as they are fascinating. Yet here we are, united by our passion for unearthing new insights. So today we are diving into from research to publication. This quick guide will cover the academic publication landscape, its importance in our careers, crafting effective research sections, navigating peer review, and even delving into AI's roles in research. Think of it as your roadmap. So buckle up and let's start this incredible ride. Here is the session filled with eye-opening moments and memorable takeaways. Let's make this unforgettable adventure in learning and discovery. Today we're gonna take a journey through fascinating evolution of academic publishing. So it's all started with the first learned societies back in the 1323. Then came renowned journals like Nature in 1869 and Science in 1880. Flash forward in 1990, when the first online-only journal launched, completely changing the game. So our slide here illustrates some key milestones that show how publishing has been transformed over centuries. So it shifted from a dependence on print to the digital landscape we know today. So this hasn't been without challenges, of course, but the ways we're sharing the knowledge and converse as academics has fundamentally changed, but also open up new possibilities that we are still exploring. So there's such an incredible spirit of innovation that will keep propelling scholarly communication forward into the future. Now that we've talked through the evolution of academic publishing, let's shift gears a bit and discuss the essential role of publishing in our careers and how can we align our goals with emerging trends. Right. So embarking on an academic career, you've likely heard the adage, publish or perish. This isn't just an old saying, by the way. It encapsulates the pivotal role that publishing plays in our professional journeys. So on the left, you'll find three key reasons why publishing is indispensable. It propels career growth, disseminates knowledge, and fosters scholarly networks. But these aren't just lofty ideals. They're practical pathways to influence and recognition in our respective fields. Now let's direct our attention to the graph on your right. So this isn't just any graph, by the way. It's a snapshot of a global academic heartbeat. So here you'll see the distribution of publications by field and region for the year 2020. Notice the dominance of health sciences, which isn't surprising given the pandemic's impact on research priorities. As we dissect these numbers, consider how this trend might shape the future of funding, public interest, and job opportunities in academia. For instance, the surge in healthcare sciences publications reflects a responsive research community rapidly shifting gears to address a global crisis. So just take a moment to observe the variance among regions. So each bar tells a story. For example, China's focus on engineering, India's emphasis on computer sciences, and the strong representation of social sciences in United States and European Union. So let's ponder, where does your work fit into your narrative, into this narrative? How can you align your research goals with these evolving trends? As we proceed, I want you to think about these statistics not just as numbers, but as a compass guiding your research journey. So they represent where we've been and hint at where we might go next. So let's use them to navigate our path forward in scholarly work. So next, now we've oriented ourselves to research landscape, right? So let's drill down on the process of selecting your own research topic. As we delve into flowchart, remember, selecting a research topic is rarely a straight line, believe me. It's often a recursive dance, one step forward, two steps back, until you find a topic that truly resonates with you and fits the scope of your research capabilities. So let's try this out. Take a moment to think of the broad interest Now let's use the flow chart to refine it. Do you have topic in mind that interests you? Great. Let's consider if it's too broad or narrow and ensure there is enough data available for you to work with. So consider an inspiring healthcare researcher interested in patient outcomes. This is a broad area, right? So let's narrow it down. With our flow chart as a guide, ask yourself, is the topic too general? Can we focus on specific aspect, like patient outcomes post-cardiac surgery? Now refine further. Do you have access to patient data? Can you analyze it with your project's time frame? Perhaps you decide to examine the effect of post-operative care on patient outcomes of post-cardiac surgery in the first 30 days. Now you have a topic that's research ready. So this iterative process of questioning and refining will lead you to viable research question that's both significant and manageable. Now, when writing in manuscript, the introduction is super important as it sets the foundation for your research narrative. To make it effective, you should follow a certain framework, for example, depicted in Figure 1, that starts with the clear and compelling statement of significance. This statement should explain why your research is necessary and what questions you're trying to answer. Next, you need to review and summarize existing literature to provide context to your work. So it's not just about summarizing what's already known, no, but also about showcasing how your research connects to and expands upon current knowledge. Once you've done that, you should identify the gap in the literature with specificity, right? This means figuring out what's being explored yet, whether it's an untried method, an understudied population, or variable that hasn't been considered. This will be your research gap. And you need to make it clear and direct. After that, you should succinctly describe your research aim, which is the scholarly commitment you're making to your field. Make sure it's specific, measurable, and aligned with the gap you identified. For example, if your aim is to boost urban bee populations, you could build experimental green roofs with the bee-friendly plants in 3 major cities and compare the number and diversity of bees of these roofs to ones without plants. This will provide real-world data to evaluate if green roofs can be an effective conservation strategy, right? So it's also important to integrate inclusivity in your introduction. Are you citing a diverse range of authors? Does your research address a gap that affects unrepresented groups? Acknowledging this aspect enriches your study and broadens its applicability. One actionable tips I can give you is to draft your research aim first, then backtrack to ensure that each improvement, each component of your introduction supports and leads up to this aim. So this reverse engineering approach can help ensure coherence and focus. All right, so now let's delve into constructing the methods section for scientific papers. This section plays a crucial role in ensuring the integrity and reproducibility of your research. So it's important to think of it as a dual purpose tool that not only describes your processes, but also serves as a manual for replication. So in order to make sure that your study stands the test of time and scrutiny, you need to provide an exhaustive account of your methods. This means that you should document every step, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. Also, don't forget to include any modifications that you made along the way. To make your methods section more understandable and clear, you can use visual elements like flowcharts or checklists. This can help break down complex methodologies into smaller, more manageable segments, making it easier for your readers to follow your research journey. Another important aspect to include in your methods section is ethical compliance. Again, this isn't just a formality, but a foundational aspect of your research validity. By demonstrating your ethical diligence, you show the respect and integrity with which the study was conducted. So one of the most common mistakes that researchers make is not providing enough detail in their method sections. This can hinder reproducibility, so it's important to be as precise as possible. So your goal should be to provide enough detail that peer could follow your script and recreate the study without any ambiguity. Lastly, it's important to align your method section with your results. So this connection ensures that your research questions, as outlined in the methodology, find their answers in your findings. So, in conclusion, an exemplary method section is like a blueprint for your research. It's not just about what was done, but also how and why each step contributes to overall narrative and findings of your study as outlined in the methodology to find the answer in the findings again. Okay, so let's connect the dots from our method sections to the broader story our research tells in the discussion. This is where we don't just present, right? So we have found, but we tell the world why it matters. Imagine each of these steps as a part of your journey you're taking the reader on. Think of the main result you'd share with the colleague over a coffee. For example, you might say, we found that sleep quality significantly improved with the new therapy. Keep it simple and direct. Now, why should someone outside your field care? Well, if that new therapy could change how doctors approach insomnia, that's your hook. So this isn't just about sleep. It's about enhancing everyday well-being. Here's where you show you're part of the community. Maybe past studies hinted at what you've shown, but you've added the evidence. It's like finding the last piece of the puzzle that everyone's been working on. Avoid generic, for example, more research needed. Instead, propose a clear next step. It could be as specific as, next, we should test this therapy in a larger population over a longer period. Give your colleagues a clear direction to take from where you left off. I wanted to say your discussion sections are more than just a part of your paper. They're the chance to inspire, to challenge, and to light a spark that others can carry forward. Okay, now, as we make our way through the different stages of research, references plays a crucial role in upholding academic integrity and promoting collaborative progress. I'll explain you why. So let's explore these stages together. During the literature review, all right, we delve into existing literature to establish context. Here, references aren't just names and dates, but also highlight foundational theories and earlier research that have paved the way for our study. Moving on to manuscript drafting. Writing the paper and embedding citation is an art. Each citation bolsters our claims, showcases the scholarly conversation, and traces the lineage of thought. Peer review involves field experts who provide feedback on our work and also scrutinize our references for accuracy and pertinence. This ensures that our work can withstand scrutiny and aligns with current understandings. When we receive the feedback, the revision phase kicks in. Refining the manuscript based on expert feedback ensures that all reference material robustly supports the revisions, enhancing the argument's clarity and impact. Finally, upon publication, our study joins the academic work corpus. The reference list immortalizes the scholarly dialogue, positioning our paper as a research for future research, ensuring the study is grounded in the current knowledge and fortifying the manuscript's credibility. Remember, each reference you include reflects the scholarly commitment to truth and progress. So it's our responsibility to ensure that these references are accurate, relevant, and serve to connect the past, present, and future of scholarly exploration. So as you write and cite, always keep in mind that you're participating in a much larger academic narrative. So each reference is a nod to those who have laid the groundwork and a guidepost for those who will follow. So your work thus becomes a bridge linking past insights and future explorations, a crucial contribution to ever-evolving realm of knowledge. Okay, so we almost made it. Let's talk about how to navigate journal selection. All right, so when it comes to publishing research, selecting the right journal can make all the difference. So to get started, we need to clarify our research aims and ask ourselves important questions that will help us find the right journal. For example, whom do I want to reach? Meaning target audience. How do I intend to reach the desired audience? How will readers access my article? What type of journal will best meet my needs? And how soon do I want or need to publish the data? So it's almost like setting a GPS coordinates for our journey through the vast world of academic journals. Once we have a clear understanding of our research aims, we can begin exploring different journals. We can use databases like PubMed, Scopus to find journals that publish research in our field and also ask colleagues for recommendations. So when we have a list of potential journals, we need to assess their fit for our research. My advice, we should consider factors like relevance, ABS2 standard, impact factor, target audience, and author guidelines. By doing so, we can narrow down our choices to a few top journals. To make sure a journal is a right fit for our research, we should carefully review aim and scope and author guidelines of each journal. This will help us make an informed decision and select best journal for publishing our work. So overall, selecting right journal is an important part of the research process. So by clarifying our research aims, assessing potential journals, and carefully reviewing their guidelines, we can make sure our research is published in the right place. Well, all right, so as we conclude, let's touch on a final fascinating topic that's at the forefront contemporary academic exploration. And this is how the artificial intelligence, or AI, is revolutionizing the way we approach our research and disseminate our findings. Let's start with something relatable. For example, let's take literature reviews. Imagine a tool that doesn't just speed up your search, but also smartly navigates through a sea of information to find exactly what you need. And this is where AI tools like Elicit, for example, Consensus AI come into play. The thing is, they are not just the search engines. They are intelligent partners that understand the context and nuances of your research needs. However, yes, it's not all smooth sailing. The integration of AI in peer review and publishing is a mixed bag. For instance, AI can summarize research and assess writing styles efficiently, but There have been instances where AI generates reviews missed the mark, providing irrelevant feedback or incorrect analysis. So it's a stark reminder that while AI is powerful, it's not infallible. Let's consider a real-world scenario, a recent experiment where the author used a chatbot to stimulate a peer review. So chatbot produced a convincing summary, but faltered when providing specific improvements, highlighting AI as a current limitation. This example underscores the need for careful balance between AI assistance and human expertise. So as we navigate these waters, ethical considerations take center stage, right? So journals like JAMA Network have established guidelines for AI use, emphasizing transparency and accountability. So they remind us that while AI can be a valuable tool, the responsibility for integrity of our work remains ours. So this brings us to our role in this evolving landscape. As researchers and academics, we're not just passive recipients of technology. So we're active participants in shaping its use. So we must advocate for responsible AI practices. So be vigilant about potential biases and ensure that integrity of academic research is upheld. As we wrap up our discussion today, let's take a moment and to reflect on what we talk about. I think it's important to consider how the choices we make in sharing our research can have a real impact on, on the conversations that take place within our field. So by contributing our findings, we can build upon the collective knowledge of our community and inspire others to engage in meaningful dialogue. So I wanted to ask you, what aspects of your research are most excited to publish and share with others? And what kind of conversations do you hope your findings will spark? It's always interesting to hear different perspectives and ideas. So feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you for taking the time to engage with me today. Let's continue to make a thoughtful, impactful selections in our research that will contribute to the future of scholarly dialogue.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Adam, for this brilliant presentation that englobed main steps, let me say, specifically for young researchers to again refresh some memory and also to find the good tips how they should construct, what are the steps to follow, what are the elements that they have to bear in mind in order to to write down an academic paper. And as a researcher, we all know that this is the crucial moment, let me say, to be able to publish in high-ranking journals as an academician, of course, and specifically if you build your career in academic field. We had a question just about the AI, a small, if I'm not mistaken, it was not a question, just an advice to all the young researchers that on the chat, it says AI could be sometimes, could be a great tool, but at the same time, very risky because it has some hallucinations sometimes. So please pay attention when you use it. Absolutely. And just quick reminder as well that at the moment there is AI Act This is the legal, let me say, framework of using AI in Europe, and we have to wait, let me say, for the release of this AI Act. There's some steps that has already been achieved, but for the final version, it's specifically some of the top subjects for our lawyers that we have to find out the framework of using the AI, about the sources, as Adam has well mentioned, about the referentials, and about the even the creating the new knowledge or creating the new templates, where AI stands in this research journey. And we have to, of course, be very vigilant when we use an AI in our work, in our daily life. Because again, this is a tool. It's not. You have to be able to use the tool, as we have 1,000 other tools that we use in our research. But it's not a mean that it's going to replace the human intelligence. Let me say. Okay. Do we have, I'm just going to have the first question that I received from the participants. It says, what strategies do you recommend for early career researchers to effectively disseminate their work through publications?
All right. Yeah, so the first step, first of all, is recognizing the importance of strategic dissemination, right? So it's not just about publishing your work. It's about making sure it reaches the right audience. So early career researchers should start by identifying the key forums and audiences for their research. This means understanding which journals are most respected in the field, which conferences offer the best networking opportunities, and which online platforms are frequented by their peers and industry leaders. So each piece of research might have a different target audience. So it's important to tailor the dissemination strategy accordingly. Yeah, so digital tools have become indispensable in this process. So I would recommend platforms like ResearchGate, Google Scholar. It allows researchers to share their work and connect with the global community. Yeah, so however, it's not enough to just upload a paper. No, but the engagement is key, right? So this includes participating in relevant discussions, yeah, sharing insights on social media, and even considering blogging or podcasting to reach a wider audience. So another crucial aspect is ability to communicate your research effectively, right? So this means being able to explain complex ideas in a way that is accessible to non-specialists without losing the nuances, right? Just a second. Yeah. So yeah, the nuances and the depth of the work. So workshops and courses on science communication can be invaluable in this regard. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your insights. While speaking about the point that we have to share our knowledge and we have to engage this discussion, and it's not only the sharing the article that I'm pretty okay on that point. Just having the go further about this sharing the knowledge and using all the platforms, I mean, could you please discuss the significance of open access publishing in today's academic environment, how they are relevant, how we should protect let me say, the rights to our works, or can we share our research paper in the early stage, even some insights or the research question? Can I have your position on that point?
Yeah, good question, Güner. So basically, open access publishing has transformed the academic landscape by making research accessible to anyone with internet access, meaning democratizing the knowledge, right? So benefits of open access publishing include wider accessibility. So your research reaches a broader audience, including researchers in countries, with the limited resources, for example, in general public. It also increases your citations. So studies show that open access paper are more likely to be cited, because of their wider accessibility. Another element would be faster dissemination. So open access articles are often published more quickly, right, than in traditional subscription-based journals. Compliance, another element with funding requirements. Many funding agencies now require open access publication to ensure publicly funded research is accessible to all. However, open access publishing often involves articles processing charges, which can be a barrier for some researchers. So it's important to consider whether funding is available to cover these costs. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me thank you for this insight. Let me see. We have another question from the chat. Okay. I don't know, Sabina, if you can open up your micro. Would you like me to read your question? Okay, I'm going to read the question. Hello, thank you for this nice presentation. I would like to ask if it is possible to ask the journal to have another reviewer review your article in case the reviewer's opinion differs from your opinion and the opinion of your colleagues.
Yeah, I would ask you clarifying question, because I really is this in what process? So you wrote the article and you just want to have the feedback? Is that what she was?
No, as far as I understood, this is the issue is that when she sent an article for a journal, and she had a peer review, and she has a different opinion to the peer reviews, and so she requests if I can ask the journal administration, I mean the team, in order to have another one, review, let me say.
Okay,
An additional one, I would like to say, an additional one.
Okay, this is again the leading question. Was this paper was the paper rejected, or it's in the process? So see, this is a little bit complex. So it's not in the process you can do it. In the process you can ask additional reviewer from the journal. But yet again, for example, journals like top journals like Lancet, they will not do that.
Okay.
So again, it depends on the ranking of the journal, but technically it's possible, and I've done it myself. So I got the feedback. I didn't like the first two reviewers because they weren't as professional in their field. So I asked another, for example, I wrote an article and it was a scoping review. But the thing is, the first reviewer has no idea what's the scoping review, right? So she started, or he or she, I don't know, started giving some directions, doesn't even know what's the scoping review and how it's done. So yeah, for sure, it's possible.
Okay. Okay. She thanks us for, she thanks you for the answer, and I do hope that we gave the answer to your question. I mean, going through that question, I was just thinking about another one. As all the trends, as you know, we have a lot of changes that happens around us, and of course on the academic field as well, we have a new trends, new challenges, and new changes. And so, could you please just highlight an emerging trends in the academic publishing landscape that our young researchers should be aware of?
I would say, like we discussed before, the significant trace is the rise of open access publishing. So again, the model democratize knowledge by making research findings available to all, free of charge. So it's basically driven by growing recognition that access to research shouldn't be limited by one's ability to pay for journal subscriptions, right? Another trend is increasing importance of a digital platform and preprint services. Platforms like archive and bioarchive, I guess, as far as I remember. So those platforms allow researchers to share their findings quickly and facilitating rapid dissemination and the feedback from the community before formal peer review, by the way. So additionally, what comes to my mind, the movements towards more transparent and reproducible research. So this includes the sharing of raw data and methodologies, allowing others to validate and build upon existing work. So yeah, so finally there is a growing recognition of the importance of interdisciplinary research, right? So journals that cater to cross-disciplinary studies are becoming more prominent, right? Reflecting complex nature of many today's pressing scientific questions. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me give you the ask you the last question about what you have told, having the open access and sharing our articles in order for all the interested people on this subject can have an access and of course go further about the collaboration. So I have two kind of questions. First, how do you see the role of collaboration in enhancing the impact of our publications? And the second one, is there any other, let me say, resource or any other strategy, besides the open access publishing, that the young researchers could use or apply in order to increase the visibility of their publications, or just trying to have more citations of their publications?
Okay, so I would be happy to address those two questions. So I like the first one, collaboration. Yeah, collaboration in academic research plays a crucial role, right? In enhancing the scope, the depth, and impact of publications. So in my experience, collaborative projects often lead to more innovative and comprehensive research outcomes because of the integration of the diverse perspectives, skills, and methodologies. So collaborative research allows for pooling resources, which can be particularly beneficial in fields requiring expensive equipment or specialized expertise, right? So it also opened the door to interdisciplinary studies, which are right now increasingly important in
Absolutely.
addressing, right, complex, multifaceted problems. So for instance, public health issues are often requires insights from multiple disciplines. Well, and to add, well, collaborating with researchers from different institutions and countries can enhance the visibility and reach the visibility of your work, right? So it often leads to, again, to broader audience and increase the chances of your research being cited and used in further studies. So for early career researchers, collaboration can also be a valuable learning experience. It provides an opportunity to work with and learn from more experienced colleagues. And these can be a crucial skill for development and professional growth. Again, but successful collaboration requires, I would say, effective communication, right? So mutual respect, clear agreements on roles, responsibilities, and authorship. So navigating these aspects is very important to ensure a productive and positive experience, right? Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Adam.
Yes,
For
and the second was you were asking about strategies, right? And the resources, right? Resources I could recommend. So, well, let me think. Maximizing the visibility, right? And citations of your research, of course, it's crucial. So building a strong academic reputation. My strategies is use relevant keywords in your paper's title, abstract, and throughout the text. So this helps in appearing in search results and database queries. Then share your research on academic and general social media platforms like Twitter, LinkedIn, and specialized, academic networks can be particularly effective. Engage with academic community, participate in conferences, workshops, and seminars, present your work and network with other researchers. It could lead to more citations, right? So again, collaborative papers often have a wider reach and higher citation rates. Yeah, so that would be it.
that's pretty sure. I mean, I'm 100% agree with you on that point concerning the usage of social media. That I mean, like 10 years ago, it was a little bit weird to have any articles on the LinkedIn or sharing any novelties or I mean, engaging with someone on LinkedIn at least. but I have seen enormously increasing of posts on Twitter and on LinkedIn, specifically on the research side, on the academic side, on the academic sphere, that people reach out, people share, and also, communicate on the research subjects. And this is one of the platforms, I think, as a social media, we can also take an advantage of whenever we need to share or to inform our publication, or just to share the novelties about our subject.
That's right.
It's not a question, but Ali says, thank you for the webinar, very insightful. Best of luck to everyone in their research. And let me check if we have any other question. We intended to make this webinar short, as this is we're also on following the trends, and we know that long webinars or presentations, we don't have the attention till the end of the session. So we would like to make it short, straight to the point, to discuss the hot subject that all of us should be aware of. Specifically, we were addressing to PhD candidates and young researchers. And of course, all the trends, let me say, the tips, you are more than welcome to use them. And of course, to have the feedback from you. If there's any novelties that we might miss, or we are very open about your comments. So you can reach us out to Adam or to myself, if you would like, of course, to discuss any other subject. Okay, if you don't have any other point, I'm just checking the chat and my phone just to find out if someone just sent an email or message. No, that's all. So Adam, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And for the next time, for sure, we're going to discuss about your book, because being a researcher, of course, we have so much information and so much, we would like to share our experience, frankly speaking, and to give the good tips as well for the people that comes from after, I'm always speaking about the generational gap, because I can consider myself as a mid-generation. It's not the older generation, but not the youngest one. So we would like to share our experience even with the youngest generation. And of course, it led you to write down this book that we can find on Amazon. I'm going to share the link whenever I share this webinar on our Facebook page. And I will for sure share the link for this for the Amazon. If someone is interested to read that book,
Thank you. Thank you.
More than welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Have a great day and best of luck.
Thank you, Adam.
Endeavor.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all our participants. And of course, we're going to share this webinar on Facebook page for those that missed. I saw that some of them have joined recently, so promise you are going to see the whole webinar on our Facebook page. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.